Assalamu alaikum, this is Salin Kadir. Welcome you to news at 5 p.m. on BTV and BTV World. Very good afternoon. Prime Minister Sheikh Hasina said killers and conspirators of August 15, 1975 are still active to oust the Awami League government from the former and hatching conspiracy against her as the election is coming nearer. The Prime Minister said this while the newly elected board members of Bangladesh and Red Crescent Society paid a courtesy call on her at Ganabhavan this morning. Chairman of Bangladesh Red Crescent Society, Major General retired ATM Abdul Wahab, led the delegation. The Premier mentioned the conspirators did their conspiracy before 2014 and 2018 elections, and now as the next election is coming nearer, they're very much active. In a speech, the Prime Minister held responsible the Russia-Ukraine war, sanctions and counter-sanctions for price spiral across the globe. In this regard, she urged all not to spare a single inch of land without cultivation, as calamities will come from all around, and it is coming.
একে তো করোনা, তারপর হলো ইউক্রেন আর রাশিয়ার যুদ্ধ, তারপরে এই স্যাংশন পাল্টা স্যাংশন। এই স্যাংশনের ফলেই তো সব জিনিসের দাম বাড়ছে। আমি জানি না কারা লাভবান হচ্ছে এই যুদ্ধে, কি লাভবান হচ্ছে শুধু অস্ত্র যারা প্রোডাকশন করে তারাই লাভবান হচ্ছে, আর মরতেছে সাধারণ মানুষ, ছোট্ট শিশু থেকে শুরু করে আজকে কি মানবেতর জীবন, সেটাই মানে সবচেয়ে দুঃখজনক। প্রত্যেক ঘরে ঘরে আমরা বিদ্যুৎ দিয়েছিলাম, কিন্তু এখন যেহেতু জ্বালানি সব কিছু এত বেড়ে গেছে, তো যার কারণে এখন আমাদের সাশ্রয় আমরা না, এখন সমস্ত ইউরোপ থেকে শুরু করে সব দেশ, এমনকি আমেরিকাও এখন জ্বালানি সাশ্রয় করে। তা আমরা আগাম ব্যবস্থা নিচ্ছি যাতে ভবিষ্যতে আবার বিপদে না পড়তে, সেই জন্য আগাম ব্যবস্থা নিচ্ছি। প্রত্যেকে আমি বলেছি যে সবাই যেন এক ইঞ্চি জমি পড়ে অনাবাদি না থাকে, যে যা পারো লাগে, একটা মরিচ গাছ লাগিয়ে খেলেও তো সেটাও কাজে লাগবে। এবং আমাদের কিন্তু সবাই করছে, এটা ঠিক, প্রত্যেকে ব্যবস্থা নিচ্ছে, তা আমাদের সবাইকে এটা নিতে হবে, নিজেরাই আমরা করবো, সেটাই আমরা চেষ্টা করি। অর্থাৎ আমার খাদ্যটা যদি আমি নিজে উৎপাদন করে ঠিক রাখতে পারি, তা আমার তো পর মুখোমুখি হতে হবে না, সেটাই আমাদের সব থেকে বেশি কাজে লাগবে।
The government has decided to increase cultivation of oilseed with a view to reducing import of edible oil. As per Bangladesh Bank's decision, farmers will get 4% concessional loan in this regard. The concussions of the coronavirus pandemic and the recent global unstable situation have fueled the prices of goods and transportation costs globally. As a result, Bangladesh, like other nations, have to buy goods including edible oil at high prices from international markets, putting pressure on forex reserves. Talking to BTV, former Agriculture Secretary Mohammad Nasiruzzaman said foreign currencies could be saved largely once production of oil, lentils, spices and maize are increased in the country. Bangladesh Bank spokesman Sirajul Islam said this loan has to be distributed among the real farmers and the loan procedures should be easy. Privately run banks alongside state-owned ones will distribute this agricultural loan. Speaker Dr. Shirin Sharmin Chaudhry said Bangladesh Parliament has taken various initiatives to strengthen knowledge-based parliamentary practice among the members of Parliament. The Speaker said this while meeting with Commissioner for Standards of House of the Lords and former Secretary General of Commonwealth Parliamentary Association, CPA Akbar Khan, at the Park Plaza Westminster Bridge Hotel in the UK. The Speaker said various trainings, workshops and seminars are being organized for the members of Parliament through CPA. Akbar Khan recalled with gratitude the skill, attention and dedication shown by Speaker Dr. Shirin Sharmin Chaudhry while serving as a chairperson of the CPA. Senior officials were present during the meeting. Awami League General Secretary Obaidul Qadir said BNP's threat is not as real as it rose. He said this during a briefing at the Setu Bhavan in the capital today on BNP leaders' threat to take over the streets. Obaidul Qadir said the streets are not the property of any individual or any party. The streets are the property of the people. So it is the responsibility of the government to protect the property of the people, he added. Obaidul Qadir warned the BNP leaders that if they again choose the path of arson and fire terrorism in the name of occupying the streets, the government accompanying people will give them a severe reply in the interest of the safety of the people's lives and property.
আওয়ামী লীগ বাংলাদেশ থেকে পালানোর ইতিহাস বিএনপি, তাদের ভারপ্রাপ্ত চেয়ারম্যান তারেক রহমানই দণ্ডপ্রাপ্ত পলাতক আসামি এবং রাজনীতি করবে না বলে মুসলেকা দিয়ে বিদেশে পালিয়ে। আওয়ামী লীগের কোনো পালানোর ইতিহাস নেই। আন্দোলন ও সংগ্রামের মধ্য দিয়ে গড়ে ওঠা দল আওয়ামী লীগের শেকড় এদেশের মাটি ও মানুষের অনেক গভীরে। যত সংকট আর ষড়যন্ত্রই হোক না কেন, আওয়ামী লীগ এদেশেই থাকবে, এদেশের মাটি ও মানুষের মাঝে। বিএনপি রাজপথ দখলের হুমকি দিচ্ছে। অতীতে বিএনপি অনেক হুমকি দামকি দিয়েছে। তাদের কথামালা যতটা গর্জে, বাস্তবে ততটা বসছে না। আমরা বলতে চাই, আওয়ামী লীগের লড়াকু নেতাকর্মীদের ওইসব দখলের হুমকি দিয়ে কোনো লাভ নেই। আমরা রাজপথে আন্দোলন সংগ্রাম করেই সরকারে এসেছি। রাজপথ দখলের নামে বিএনপি যদি আবারও জ্বালাও পোড়াও এবং আগুন সন্ত্রাসের পথ বেছে নেয়, তাহলে জনগণের জানমালের নিরাপত্তা রক্ষায় জনগণকে সাথে নিয়ে আওয়ামী লীগ দাঁত ভাঙ্গা জবাব দেবে।
Earlier, Chinese ambassador to Bangladesh Li Yiming held meeting with Road Transport and Bridges Minister Obaidul Qadir. During the meeting, they discussed about the handing over and opening of the newly constructed 8th Bangladesh-China Friendship Bridge over the Kocha River in Pirojpur district and the inauguration of Bangabandhu Sheikh Mujibur Rahman Tunnel under the Kornofuli River after completion of construction. As many as 139 ultra-modern multi-purpose school-cum shelter centers for disaster-affected people are being constructed in Bhola at a cost of Taka approximately 750 crore. In the meantime, construction work of most of the centers have come to an end. Authorities say several lakh people along with the cattle and belongings will be able to take shelter in these centers. The government has come forward with the initiative as coastal district Bhola is a disaster-prone area. The shelter centers are being constructed in Bhola Shodar, Daulat Khan, Burhanuddin, Lal Mohan, Tuzamuddin, Sharaf Ashian and Monipur Upazelas. The local government engineering department is constructing all the centers financed by the World Bank. At the 139 school-cum-shelter centers will have separate facilities for pregnant women and handicapped people. People will be able to organize social programs in the centers, which will also have solar power facilities as well as pure drinking water. This project was launched in 2017 and expected to be completed in June 2023. In the meantime, several shelter centers have been handed over to the authorities. These buildings will be raised up to 10-story in future. We now begin with international news. U.S. House Speaker Nancy Pelosi ended her short trip to Taiwan as China pledged forceful response. During her trip, Pelosi met Taiwan's President Tsai Ing-wen and members of Taiwan Parliament, assuring them of continued U.S. support for the self-ruled island. China has strongly condemned U.S. House Speaker Nancy Pelosi's visit to Taiwan, saying the Speaker's visit has a severe impact on the political foundation of China-U.S. relations and seriously infringes upon China's sovereignty and territorial integrity. Chinese Deputy Foreign Minister Xi Feng accused Pelosi of deliberately provoking and playing with fire against people's will. China's military said it was on high alert and would conduct exercises around Taiwan in response to Pelosi's trip. Meanwhile, Russia has termed the visit of the U.S. House of Representatives Speaker Nancy Pelosi to Taiwan as a clear provocation. Russia accused the U.S. of direct involvement in the war in Ukraine for the first time on Tuesday. The Kremlin had previously accused the United States of fighting a proxy war, but Russian officials have stepped up the accusation by saying the Biden administration was approving targets for American-made HIMARS rocket launches. Lieutenant General Igor Kolashnikov, a spokesman for Moscow's defense ministry, said the United States is directly responsible for rocket attacks which killed civilians in the Donbass region. Intercepted calls between Ukrainian officials prove this, he added. There was no immediate reaction to the defense ministry's allegation from the White House or Pentagon. The Association of Southeast Asian Nations, ASEAN, has said it might reconsider a plan agreed with Myanmar to end the violence triggered by the military coup if the generals hang over political prisoners. The comments came at 10-member ASEAN foreign ministers meeting being held in Phnom Penh. The group has barred the Myanmar's military representative from the event. Speaking at the start of the meeting, the current chair of ASEAN, Cambodian Prime Minister Hun Sen, said ASEAN's unity had been challenged by the political and security implications of the crisis in Myanmar, which has created an economic and humanitarian crisis. The group has also criticized last week's execution of 4 democracy activists in Myanmar. Russian Foreign Minister Sergei Lavrov arrived in Myanmar today for an official visit that Moscow said will include discussions with the military government on security and economic issues. Shortly after his arrival in the capital, Nay Pyi Taw, Sergei Lavrov met with his counterpart Vunna Muang Liven and other top Myanmar officials. Russia is a major supporter of Myanmar's military government, which came to power in February last year when it ousted the elected government of Aung San Suu Kyi. Western nations have ostracized Myanmar's ruling generals and maintained economic and political sanctions against them because of the takeover and violent repressions of opposition. Yemen's warring parties have agreed to renew an existing truce for another 2 months. In a statement, the United Nations envoy Hans Grunberg said Yemen's internationally recognized government and the country's Houthi rebels agreed to extend the truce, despite international pressure for an extended and expanded deal. The truce extension includes a commitment from the parties to intensify negotiations to reach an expanded truce agreement as soon as possible, he added. Yemen's civil war erupted in 2014, which has killed tens of thousands and caused millions to go hungry. We now begin with the news on sports. India beat West Indies by 7 wickets in the third T20 to take a 2-win lead in the 5-match series. West Indies scored 164 runs for the loss of 5 wickets in 20 overs at St. Kitts. Kyle Mears scored 73 runs. In reply, India scored a winning target of 165 with 1 over remaining for 3. Surya Kumar Yadav collected 76 runs. That's all from the newsroom for the moment. Thank you for watching with us. We request you to follow the health guidelines and please wear a mask and stay safe from corona. Until then, Khuda Hafiz.